In practice, injustice must not prevail. Injustice must not prevail.
Roots. Do you know where you come from? Do you know your roots? How do we uphold the traditions of our past? Activism. Why is it important? As the younger generation, we are the ones that need to uphold the traditions, cultures, and legacies of the older generation.
This is JFAV, Justice for Filipino American Veterans, which started because Congress passed the Recession Act, which effectively and unjustly notified the veteran benefits promised to all Filipinos who served under the direction of the United States military during World War II. To this day, Filipino American veterans still continue to fight for the recognition long overdue, and GFAV is committed to fight with them every single step of the way until justice is finally achieved for every single soldier who selflessly answered the call of duty.
December 7th, 1941, only 75 years ago, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, but you already knew that. Less than 24 hours after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, the Philippines was also bombed by Japan, yet most people do not know this part of American history. After the attack on the Philippines, both Americans and Filipino troops were tortured, many killed until the end of World War II.
Paglalaban namin para matulungan ang aming mga kasamang veterano, nagpapakahirap kami ngayon ng mga equity. Lalakad na hanggang kayong mga kabataan, tinulungan kami mga veterano.
JFAB is a great example of a young activist fighting for the rights and injustices of Filipino veterans that came before them. Going back to our roots, in the late 1960s, the Asian American movement was one of our first forms of activism for that ethnic group. According to Maeda, the Asian American movement on college campuses sought to close the gap between campuses and communities, redefine what counted as knowledge, and transform how knowledge was produced and disseminated. He believed that education could be a tool of liberation. Another activist group comprised of college students at this time was the Third World Liberation Front, formed as a multiracial coalition comprising of these 6 student organizations from San Francisco State University: the Black Student Union, the Latin American Student Organization, the Mexican American Student Confederation, the Asian American Political Alliance, the Intercollegiate Chinese for Social Action, and the Filipino American Collegiate Endeavor. The Third World Liberation Front had 3 main demands: right of all Third World students to an education, demand for School of Ethnic Area Studies education relevant to their lives and communication, ethnic studies classes taught and run by Third World peoples. This strike, according to Maeda, was significant for these 5 reasons. It united different student ethnic groups into a multiracial Third World coalition. The non-white students had a chance at having a leadership role. It demonstrated a new vision that knowledge and education should serve as tools of liberation for Third World people. It helped to establish the first school of ethnic studies in the nation, and it sparked a movement of student activism that spread across the United States that demanded their colleges for a more relevant education.
Students today show similar interest in fighting for social justice. Here at Cal Poly Pomona, there are several student organizations such as Barcata, the Filipino American Studies Collective, and the fraternity Cairo Omicron that participate in movements with the greater Filipino community and carry on sentiments of the older generation.
Acculturation, or the solid bowl concept, is prevalent within the members of these organizations. They have influenced members to adapt and learn about Filipino traditions through cultural resistance. Besides JFAV, other cultural productions held by these organizations are expressed through literature and art. Barcata, the Filipino club on campus, holds a Filipino American Cultural Night every year. The members spend countless hours learning traditional dances that reflect Filipino folk stories and regions. The production and script focuses on various issues that affect the Filipino American individuals and its communities. Through the power of the performing arts, The audience is able to reflect upon the importance and relevance of these issues, which spread awareness throughout other cultural communities.
So, how does your organization contribute to the activism of the older generation?
Well, Expo does a lot of cultural events, and me being culture chair this past year, it really opened my eyes to the work it takes to uphold all of these traditions and history. You know, it's not the, I want to say it's not normal for a lot of people to just start learning about their history all of a sudden. It's kind of a slow process. Like, to me, you know, learning all this stuff at first, it was just information, and then, you know, later down the road, I started to see the big picture. So to uphold all of these traditions for the older generations, basically to just keep doing events, opportunities for people to basically learn, just opening up opportunities for everybody is what I think is the most important thing to uphold all of these traditions.
Cool. All right, thank you.
We want you to be an activist for your culture, much like how the Asian American movement did in the 1960s, or with JFAB and PACN in present times. How are you upholding your culture's traditions?